Thank you for the opportunity to present on and recognizing us for the work we've done at Motor Carrier Size and Weight. Just to give you a little bit of update real quick about myself and what my program is. I actually run all the weigh stations in the state of Florida. So we've got 20 on the interstate, 7 off the interstate system, and we got a whole litany of 24 virtual weigh and motion locations. Just we have infrastructure all over the state that focuses on commercial vehicle enforcement with size and weight law and also out of service issues and such as that. When I first came on board, we started looking at all the data that we had and that we were collecting. And we're collecting everything that a traditional traffic count station does, plus more. For example, the technology we're using now, we can actually gather vehicle dimension data very accurately. Just the US DOT number, the LPR number, the license plates, such as that, because we utilize this information internal to process commercial vehicles. I started looking at this information and saying, well, how can others utilize this data as well? So as a result of that, we took in a program that we had developed several years ago called the Container Number Database, which was used by enforcement to monitor logbook compliance, and actually have upgraded it to what we're calling the Freight Operations Exchange, or FOX for short. And this system actually houses all the motor carrier size and weight data. What's really cool about this is it allows us to be able to see time of day trends and stuff like that very accurately as it comes into our facilities and other locations as well. Uh, One thing one of the main reasons we went this direction with the data and the technology was we're converting all of our interstate stations to mainline weigh in motion. So within the next, I've got one's completed, 2 under construction, 2 contracts are getting ready to let. So within the next 4 to 5 years, all of our interstate facilities will be mainline weigh in motion. Presently, we're utilizing ramp weigh in motion, but this will help us adjust to the traffic that will be coming in the future with commercial vehicles. So by doing this, we realize that not only do we want to do mainline weigh in motion, we want to interconnect our facilities and make an intelligent weigh station system. So this data is going to allow us to connect from facility to facility to determine I've already weighed that truck. He's not gotten off the interstate, and I can give him a bypass based upon that information we have. So we're really looking at developing and making a intelligent weigh station system out of the information that we're receiving. Just an example, kind of real quick, if I have a vehicle come to my station, I can click on his tag and I can tell you where he's been the last 7 days where we've seen him at. So it pops up in our queue real quick. For us, it just sees travel. It allows us to see his travel pattern. But really, if I want to dig a little bit deeper, and these are just high level snapshots that we're going to be utilizing to determine travel patterns and stuff from scale to scale. But if I want to look deeper, I can actually look at a carrier's information as well. So all this data is going to be available to planners and such as that. That will allow them to look at the information and determine freight flows from ports. How does it process through our weigh stations in our state, and things such as that. This data that we'll be providing to the planners, though, it will be encrypted, so they will not be able to tell exactly which company it is, but they will be able to tell us the same company transversing particular routes. So it's important to protect that carrier data, and we will be doing that in the information that we release to others. How else can we use this data? And that's the big ask that we have given to our leadership, and we're starting to look into it and trying to determine how that data can be utilized. My main goal and my main mission for the department is motor vehicle size and weight, compliance, and safety. So I don't necessarily need to process it to this next level, but we're having meetings to show others what we have, and we want them to be able to take our raw data and develop it into something they can utilize. So for pavement design and management, to actually see where we have overweight loads that consistently run through our state, maybe the pavement design needs to be modified there to adjust and address those types of issues. Also, we use it for our state enforcement plan of certification for the feds, planning. Where do we need to put, or what might we need to do as far as roadway geometrics and such as that, because we're seeing a lot of trucks in this area. So we're just trying to use that information. The big thing that we're trying to teach people is there's a difference in between a full truck and an empty truck. So uh, we can tell them, okay, coming into the state we're full, going out of the state we're empty. So we can get down to that level of detail as far as the vehicles and how much freight it's carrying in and out of the state. Also, utilization of the information that we have, because we're capturing data points. We can actually look at freight signal priority and also possibly truck staging and parking areas that we need to look at to increase that truck parking locations. Safety is a big thing. The goal is, and the things that we're doing by allowing more people to mainline bypass in the near future, or actually we're doing it now in the stations we've got it in place, is actually eliminating merge weave, and it's all done through data and information that we're collecting. Also, oversize, overweight considerations for design, lane closures. When should we have a work zone? If you know, a lot of times our work zones, well, let's start a work zone at 7 p.m. Well, if we see truck traffic peaking out until 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., we might need to modify that to take into account what kind of traffic do we really have out there. So there's a lot of things we're looking at. This is just this is a real live information here that we pulled a data snapshot of showing axle non-compliance. So this particular location is down in southern Florida, and you can see the green are axles from 18 to 22,000 pounds, which in the state of Florida, 22,000 pounds is a legal axle weight. But you can also see the non-compliant axles by the time of day. So we actually even have several times a day, we have axles in excess of 28,000 pounds. That's causing higher wear and tear on the road. So we're looking at, we can utilize this data maybe to address that. Enforcement can only go so far, because I can tell you from my experience, I've been doing this a long time. If a system goes down or a station goes down, they know, people know it, and they start running heavy. So by allowing us and addressing it in the design stage, we're hoping to get longer life cycles out of our pavements and such as that. Also, use case for permits. This is actually us tracking our permits. We scan uh, about 8,000 permits a month that come through our station. So we actually have location and timestamps for permits as they come through our facilities. In this particular slide on the left here, you can actually see we've just broke it down by shift here, whether it's day, evening, or midnight. You can tell the majority of your time frames do you have vehicles coming through. So you can actually look at your time of day trends. And definitely Wednesday seems to be the high day for, in most scenarios, it seems to be our highest day for permit loads being moved throughout the state. And this again can be utilized for work zone management, dedicated lanes and geometric considerations, pavement considerations, anything. We're just trying to give it to our partners within the department on how they can utilize this information. Use case also, a lot of you, I'm not sure if you're aware, but we do a lot of tire pressure monitoring remotely now. I can tell you if you have underinflated or flat tire. But another thing that I can tell you is also, do you have hazmat loads? We're actually shooting hazmat placards now, and for traffic incident management purposes and such as that, being able to interconnect with the traffic management center, knowing that there could be a hazmat load in that queue, it could change our response for sending responders out to take care of that issue. Also, again, freight signal priority. If we got the information from the ports and the freight generation locations and such as that, we think that we can utilize these data points and information to provide that uh, better flow to get into the port and get out of the port. Another use case, again, looking at parking analytics, we've got the parking data can be pulled into this system as well. So we're looking at how can we do that and utilize it. Parking's a national issue for commercial vehicles, and by utilizing data, we're trying to help out with that. The biggest thing is that we identified when I first took this position is we have a lot of data. A lot of people did not know what we had or to the extent we had. So we're finally putting it into a platform that others can utilize it to gain knowledge from our data. Also, I do believe we're the first state to actually have a data sharing agreement across state lines. We actually have a data sharing agreement with the Georgia State Patrol for commercial vehicle data. We're actually looking at a couple other states joining this little compact as well. So we're actually looking at data at a higher level as well. So applying those intelligent waste station concepts, not just Florida-based waste stations, but also interconnecting to my Georgia partners as well. So using data to its fullest extent. And that's all I have for today.